Hello, I hope everything is going well with you. I'm also excited to be using this different platform of MathSpace. I think it's going to be good because it offers tutorials and videos you can watch for every lesson, and it is adaptive. So if you're doing well, it's going to give you harder questions to challenge you, and if you need time with some other types of questions till you get the gist of it, then that is great too. So today's math, April 14th. We're going clear back to some of the things we did in August, where we're going to be reading and writing numbers correctly. And so let's say you've got a big giant number like this out loud. Those can sometimes be tricky to say. I just have a super simple 3-step method that really helps it become a lot simpler and a lot quicker for students. So I know that every single one of the students in my class can accurately say numbers up to the 100. So if the digits are 926, every single fourth grader can go 926. The great thing about having to say big, huge numbers is that it uses that same pattern over and over. You just go from the ones to the hundreds to thousands, 10,000s, etc. To the ones period and then thousands and then millions and billions, excuse me. So if we have this number where we've got a 394, 078, all we have to do is break that up into 2 chunks. We're going to break it into this first chunk of 3 numbers, and we're going to break it into this second chunk of 3 numbers. So step 1 says read everything before the comma as hundreds, tens, and ones the quote-unquote normal way. So I'm going to take a look at these first 3 digits, and there's a 3, a 9, and a 4, and I'm just going to read those the normal way. I'm going to say 394. 394. And then when I get to the comma, I'm going to say 1,000. So this would be 394,000. And then you're going to read everything after the comma as hundreds, tens, and ones the normal way. So this would be 78. So my whole number would be 394,078. It takes a little bit of practice, but it's actually not that bad to get the hang of. And I'm sure, we mastered that last fall, and so we might just need some brushing up on it. So if I were to write it out, I would say 394,078. Now notice there was no number here in the hundreds place, so I didn't need to say any hundreds because I had my 0 as my placeholder. So I just said 394, and then I said 1,000, and then I said 78. Okay, let's try this next one. So I'm going to say these first 3 digits the normal way, quote unquote, right, normal way. So that would be 676. So 676. And then I get to the comma. Think, what do I say when I get to the comma? I say 1,000. And then after that, I have a 1, a 9, and an 8. So I have 198. And that's really all it takes, to write out the numbers. The MathSpace is going, because it adapts, it's going to give you some trickier problems and some easier problems. So you might be adding 10,000 onto a number or something like that. But if you have this basic part down, the rest of it should go pretty smooth. Let's also go the other directions. Let's say that we have we have words, and we're trying to get those written out as numbers. So again, it's the exact same 3 steps. We're just going the other direction now. So we're going to write everything before the comma as hundreds, tens, and ones. Or actually, let's say before the comma, before the word 1,000, as hundreds, tens, and ones. So everything before this word 1,000, we're just going to write it as hundreds, tens, and ones. So here I have every single word before the 1,000 is 76. So I'm just going to type 76 the way I would just type it normally, 7 tens and 6 ones. Step 2 is that when it says 1,000, write a comma. So after 76, I'm going to put a comma because the 1,000, that's showing that we're shifting from the thousands period into the ones period. And then after that, we're going to write everything after the 1,000 as hundreds, tens, and ones. So everything after the 1,000 is 320 on. That should be 21. So that would be, I would type it out as 321. Let's try another one. So 512,032. So everything before the word thousand, I'm just going to write normally. So I have 500s, and then 12 is 1, 10, and 2 ones. So I have 512. Step 2 is that when it says the word thousand, I'm going to write a comma. So, comma. And then after the thousand, I'm going to write it as hundreds, tens, and ones. So 32. Now that's tricky. I can't just do 32 the way I would normally because this 3 ends up in the hundreds place value. Remember, it goes ones, then tens, then hundreds. So if there's nothing in the hundreds place value, I have to write a 0 because there's nothing in the hundreds, and then I can write my 32. So make sure when you're typing this on the keyboard that you actually use the comma, which the comma is right next door to the M. If you use the period, then you're using a decimal, and then you'll be getting them incorrect. So make sure you're doing that. Again, your math tasks might be a little bit different than this, but there's there's worked examples in there, and then there's the math book they have on there that will help you out as well. So thank you so much for watching.